Yeah, thank you, everyone. It's really exciting to see the curiosity. And I think, I put probably a little too much information, try to squish in this one workshop. But yeah, I hope to, get to instancing. So let's keep doing this, making a leaf. And it's not going to be that hard. So once we have that much, we can follow this with skin soap. And that will create a surface. And we can transform this into -1 in the scale. And then we can merge this back in. So middle click, this skin's output, and then look for merge. If you middle click, it'll branch out, keeping this one. So we merge this back again. And now, again, the normals are facing wrong way. So we need to fix this. So after transform, right click, and then we put down primitive SOP. And then if you go to face how page, change vertex to reverse U. So that will fix this normal issue. And in this middle part, we have, if we turn on the point number, you see we have a duplicated points. So we want to merge this middle, points by using the facet SOP. And in the facet, go to consolidate points first. If you middle click, it was 48 points. Now it's 32. So it's just cleaner this way. And yeah, right now our leaf is flat. It's not bad. I think it's nice to have a little bit of a curvature. And to do this, the way I came up doing is to, since we are already doing TX here, remember, and we can also move in the TZ and the TY, so make it upwards or downwards. So go back to your animation comp and right click, edit animation. Okay, so we need new channels here. So we make TY, add channel. Go ahead and make TZ and add channel. And make sure you select that and hold the Alt key and the other point. Let's just put it like that. And yeah, we haven't told it yet. So go to your line. And this time it's easy. We just copy this one, paste it to both of them. And we just need to change this TY and then TZ. And I'm going to right click this facet SOP and view so that I can show it bigger. Yeah, my TY is going way too much. So yeah, maybe I want something like this. And then in the TZ, add a point. Yeah, so maybe I want, yeah, something like this. Little fold it in the middle. And if you want, you can add more points in this line 1. So maybe we make it to 3, just so that it has a little bit more polygons. Yeah, I think this is enough. And if it's like a hero, hero shot, you could always add more points to make it a little bit more, high resolution. Maybe I add one more here. Yeah, you can hit H again. So, when it's we are dealing with very small value, so it's kind of gets hard to see it. But yeah, it can kind of make, this a little interesting shape. Oops. Like that. Yeah. So you can close your animation comp. And then now, yeah, here, we could also use this interesting SOP I'm going to show you, to twist SOP. Kind of look at it from the side. And if you make the strength, twisting right now, but what we want to do is bending. And then bending in a wrong direction. We want to try. What happened to the transform SOP? This one? I got a question right now in NearUp. The transform SOP. Ooh, this is really important thing I wanted to show you anyways. So when you're looking at my scene file, you might wonder, you have a same op, but you might wonder, you don't know where it's different from your scene file. And then really convenient way to see is to click this like a target icon at the right top. If you do that, this is the value that is different from the default of your operator. So what I have changed is that I changed scale -1. So I hope that answers the question. And go back to the twist. So change this, you can kind of play around. It's kind of confusing and not as intuitive. That's not it. Z. That's what I want. Yeah, so Z in primary and Y in the secondary. So you see, this can create kind of a nice look. So yeah, that's my leaf. And let's see how that looks when it's rendered. Put this in the geo and make a camera and render top. And then this time we just add simply right. And then turn on the viewer. I'm gonna just rotate my geometry like that, 90. Let's bring it down a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Let's make a PBR material because I think that's how I want to end up today. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So assign the material. And leaf is no metallic, so metallic 0. Roughness, just I want to see a little shininess today. We make it like a little, although we don't see any shininess, I think that's probably because, yeah, they are meshes. I think that's why. So we can do it, like after the twist is fine. We need to convert the polygons. Okay, and then convert the polygons. And I think, yeah, you might be wondering why, the attribute create and everything matters, right? So this is where it matters. Let's see if I can do it here. Attribute create. There you go. Yeah, and once you add normal mapping as well, you need a tangent as well. So you can go ahead and do that. So now it looks like a shiny, right? And the light is reacting to its shape. And what if you wanted to put some like texture to your leaf? So we make simply a ramp. And then again, when I'm testing, I like to just kind of RGB, like so. And yeah, that's fine. Put this in a node. And then apply it to the material, base color map. Okay, and then, yeah, what's happening right now is it's repeating, for the both sides of it. And yeah, in TouchDesigner, it's, there's no like a UV editor, if you know 3D, 3D workflow. So yeah, you could still see your UV, how it's looking by using point salt. And let's look at how this UV is looking like before we duplicate it. So middle click, at the point. And then this is easy trick. You can pretend like you add a texture. And open this one. Also open the point position as well. And we use this copy and paste that. Your point position like this. And oh yeah, it doesn't have it because I never made it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so let's make a texture then. So UVing. So after this skin soap, we are going to right click and add a texture. And then in this texture type, we want to use rows and columns. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so, by doing rows and columns, yeah, the reason why I do it is because, I want to make sure that the line kind of follows this topology of the leaf. In case you might want to later on add like a stripes as like a normal map and stuff. But yeah, so UV looks good this way. And, but see what happens is that, both of them is UV is overlapping. So to be able to, make it half and half, we can modify your texture here. And since this is the right side of your leaf, first we make it 0.5. So see the UV got half, right? But we want to put it on the right side. So select your texture sub, offset 0.5. Okay. And then so that this side is good. Now we want to take care of this side. Because this side is just a copy of it. So put the texture here. And then again, so this one, we want to keep the incoming UVing, so that's modify source. We only want to offset in the position. So, we can plug this into here, our sort of UV editor. Yeah, so for this one, I'm selecting this texture for the other half to bring it 0.5. So now, we got left to right. And now this should work pretty well for you. You can do like vertical, it's kind of works. Circular, trippy. I keep it vertical, sorry, horizontal. And yeah, now that you can actually put the color you want, maybe it's lighter in the middle and then darker on the edge. And you can, get rid of this one if you just need the same color. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, so that was it, for making of the leaf. So let's save this. And yeah, since we are going to later use this one, after this attribute create, right click here and then put the out node. I didn't middle click so that, this is just so that I can see how it's rendered, and I'm not gonna use this later. I might use this material, but this part is just so that I can see. And the leaf is ready. Like this. Yeah, in my example file, in my example file, I had a out top, so that's why you see this one. But this is okay. And from here, it's easy to make a flower once you have this much. So copy and paste your leaf. Call it flower. And go into that and move this one, here. And yeah, let's make first, change to the more like a flower, like, it can be any color you like. For now, I do that. It's sort of strange for flower, but that's okay. Well, let's do something. So yeah, for flower, I think, I copy paste this around and keep that there, but maybe I want to do circular. Yeah, and then if you raise this period like really high, it makes really like nice soft ramp. You can move this down. Yeah, what I'm looking into is just kind of petal, that has like it's hard to see. Let's make our lighting stronger. Okay. Yeah, so kind of, darker. Maybe I make darker pink and it goes sort of, yeah, how about that? And then, you could still like do a lot of things here. Like you can, I do like over, for example. And then, I might want to put this one over. So put this at the top and then put this one at the bottom. And if you make this middle part to be just opaque of a channel, it's nice to have a white. It's even though it's alpha 0. So and then make this color to be maybe maybe a little bit blue. Yeah, I like that. And then also I can't stop this artistic thing once I start. But something you might want to change is to interpolate notches linear to like ease in or like harmonize this very smooth. So do that with your likings. And yeah, so that's one petal. We want to duplicate. And that's easy. We can do right click here, copy SOP. And this one we just do like say 5. And then rotate here, right? So we can use this right click your copy number and copy parameter, and then paste the reference into the rotate Y, and we do 360 divided by the amount of copies. So now every time you add it, it's good. Yeah. So from here, let's put this in the middle, like that. Yeah, the shape of the leaf, I think, now you know how to change it, right? You can edit animation, and I think what I want to do, especially, I don't want a pointy top, so that would be my X, right? And at the tip, maybe more like rounded here, so it goes bigger, like like that. It's a little wonky, but it does the job. Yeah, at this, beginning and end, it doesn't have to be 0. It can have a width at the end, But yeah, so let's say that, that's my flower. So I'm going to close. And yeah, I'm slightly bothered by these overlaps. So for that, I think the simple, easy fix we can do is to insert a transform before the copy SOP. And then I think which axis that could be. We want, and this is fun too, opening animation, but we want to just kind of, yeah, this one. So if we just like give a little bit, maybe maybe the shape itself needs to be improved, but yeah, that'll help a little bit of your intersection situation. Yeah, I think I want to make it a little skinnier where they need. So I'm going to edit animation. Yeah, it's this one, I think. This one's too much. Yeah, that's better. More. Yeah. So that completes my flower. And remember this twist stop, that's a really good one to sort of play with. And you can make it, the way you like it. So yeah. So I'm gonna keep it like that. So it's not bad, right? Okay, so we're gonna get out this one. And now we have a flower and a leaf. And we are going to, I think it was this example, right? In the node, yeah. So we have all this set up, and all we need is to replace this sphere and the box with our flower. So let's copy this leaf and the flower. Well, maybe, you know what? Maybe you want to keep that one. So copy and paste this one. And then, yeah, we call it plant. And then copy your leaf and the flower and go into the plant. And then paste it. So leaf will be this one. And then your flower will be that one. And then delete no longer used ones. And then, let's delete that one too. Okay. So now that we have this much, it's, it's exciting. I think the leaf is facing to wrong way, but yeah, so that's something easy to fix it. You can always just transform here. And I think this is one of those things you just kind of, try it. Here it is. Yeah, so it was minus 90 and 90 in the Y and the Z. And, again, it's fine. You can change to your likings and nothing wrong with that. So yeah, now we have a simple plant. And so for this one, if you look at your points, it's quite like a lot of points because this is not necessarily, super low poly. We kind of made a fancy, nice leaves, right? So it cannot actually, do much, it's generations. So now we want to think about how we can instance, these leaves and the flower. And so we're gonna do that. And so let me see. Yeah, so the way we are gonna do it, I know that, we connected here. And if you're not doing instance, it's totally fine. This is how you do it. But since we are going to instance, we need the template points to be able to instance. Here you don't have to follow this one, but I just want to show you. If you add a 1 point, it has 1 point. See if I can get a group out of it. I put in the J, right? And if I look at it, since this is all primitive groups, I got 0. So, point is not enough to make a primitive. So instead, we are gonna do, so from here, if you can follow, we are gonna make a line SOP. And yeah, I like my leaf to point upwards. So one in Y, and then plug that in to your plant, and then do that to your flower too. Yeah, so now it's sad, but it's like a stick figure. And yeah, so and this guy is gonna come back in later to be instanced. And yeah, the way we are gonna do it here. So now, you know, it's there. These are the position of each leaves, right? But all I want is this, the one of the points, you know, out of the two. So what we can do simply here is to transform your line and scale 0. And it's still 2 points, but now if you turn on the point, you know, they are overlapped, but, you know, those are the position of where the leaves should go, right? So yeah, so let's bring these leaves. You can delete this point. So this is just for the color. And then transform. Yeah, I think we could use a transform. So let's bring this over here. And yeah, for instancing, you always want to face your geometry pointing to plus Z axis. It's just how that goes. So we want to rotate this way. Yeah, and then we put this into a geometry. So make sure you right click this output of the transform and then make geometry. Okay, and then here, yeah, this is not ready to instance yet. That's because there are duplicated points, but easily we can put the assets up and then consolidate point first. And then let's put this in a null. And this leaf geo, go to instance page and then turn on the instancing. And then we look at the null one. And then in the translate X, we do P1, sorry, P0, P1, P2. And again, it's nice to look at how it's rendered. Just for the sake of time, let's copy these guys here. Let's copy this one too, materials. Actually, except for the geometry, sorry. We want light and the camera and the render. And then the materials. So copy this. Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, it's good to see where our stems are. So right click the end of our stems and then geo. Okay. And yeah, so for this one, just put line material. Okay. And then, yeah, it's kind of, you know, the leaves are very big, I think. So make transform to be smaller. Yeah. Make your camera closer. I think I'm not going to do the line swap for this one. Let's just put constant so that easily you're able to see it. Okay, that's easier to see. And now, you know, our leaves needs to face to our right direction. And for this one, yeah, we need to tell the leaf to know which way to face to, right? And to do this, we need to add a normal here to our initial line. So follow this line with a point stop. And we add normals. And then if you click, we can change everything to 0. And then just for the y, we make it 1. And then it's also important to give another up vector. And then for the up vector, we can give z. So once we have this, we can use that to tell, okay, rotate to vector will be the normal. And then rotate up would be up vector. And then I don't know why it went somewhere else and up. It went somewhere else. Let me see. That should be, I must have done something messed up somewhere. Let me see if they have a normal. Doesn't look like. So this one has a normal. That's good. Oh, wow. Sorry about this. Here, we are overwriting our attribute, this normal that we created. So skip this one, or might as well delete. Yeah, I wanted to show this example here earlier, but yeah, it's very important to have a normal and up vector to let our leaf to face to the right direction. And I think actually, now that I look at it, let's make our up vector to, instead of z, to 1. Yeah, and then flip this one because it's flipped. I hope you are not confused. But at the end of the day, I think I want this way. Yeah, at the end of the day, just make it look right. But you must have that up vector, as well. Otherwise, it's not going to line up with your stems, and that's a huge problem, I believe. And this one, I just kind of make it look good, like that. Okay, so yeah, that's some effort, but it's definitely worth it. So apply your PBR shader. And I know we have a regular lighting, but I like to use environment light and make a movie violin. There. Oh, and then here we apply this cloudy ocean to, you need to assign to environment map. So this is nice because, light you kind of have to have a multiple to shade to see from every angle, but this kind of make a nice soft, softly lit from every angle. It's quick and easy way to make it look good. And it needs to be a PBR shader to do that. So now, your leaf could become like shiny. It's, you know what? My right one is too strong, right? Maybe not. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's you can also control, sort of how much environment lighting you have. You can also rotate as well. It's kind of hard to see with this example, but yeah, let's say that's good. And we can do, we can almost do copy and paste the same thing happening here for the flower. So let me organize so that it's easier to see what's going on. I'm going to put this material there. Yeah, and flowers here. Yeah, so we copy and paste these two here. And then plug your flower. And this is kind of like how the cover image was made. And instead, we need to give these points, right? This was for the flower K group. So we copy and paste this facet and the null one, and then plug this one into the flower, and then we change to, so this one becomes null 3. And remember, inside of the flower, we have a nice, material ready to go. So copy that and paste this here. And then assign to your flower. And I think I did a slightly strange transform for the leaf only, but I don't want to do that. So face, yeah, that's good. You want to face to +D, remember. Yeah. So yeah, now it's good. Leaves and my flower, so they're instanced. And let's save this here. And this is really, I think it's very simple right now, but this technique, I believe, will come in very handy once you might be doing this over to like a very, like a complicated tree, right? And then you're gonna have like hundreds of leaves, kind of like the, example. And this, you must do this, otherwise there's no way you can render, a smooth animation. So this is really, the basic of it. It's not too bad. And yeah, I think we have, we are extending a little bit. Thank you. If you have to, leave, I'm sorry, but please check out the recording. But yeah, I want to get to from here. What we have one of the flower, but I want to copy this whole plant over a sphere, and that's kind of how the example is like, right? And to do this, so this is a famous problem in TouchDesigner. Not a problem, it's just what it is. But since these are already instances, and you can't really do instance over instance. If you're Cinema 4D user, you do that all the time, right? Like you graph, graph, so since we can't do that, but what we can do is we could, this one we can. This has no problem because it's not the instance yet. But, for the leaf and the flower, we can copy these points onto the sphere and then use that to create this instance. So let me show you how I would do that. So let's make a sphere. And this will be my template sphere. Let's make it to polygon and go to the detail and then make it to frequency of 1. And then, so again, normal will be important for instancing and the copy SOP. So we are gonna add using point SOP. In fact, it actually already should have a normal. normal is there because sphere kind of comes with it. But we need to give the other one, the up vector. So go to the particle page and then add up vector. So clear this one. So 1 in X. And then this is good. So let's go ahead and first, these guys, we're gonna just instance. So go to instance and turn on. And then this 0.2 will be your operator. And then translate X would be P0, P1, P2. Go to the instance 2. Then rotate 2 will be normals. And then the up would be up 0, 1, 2. I think my sphere is really big compared to the flower. Flower, I believe it's kind of small. So make your sphere small. There. Yes, right. So again, if you remember, when you are copying or like instancing, everything should face to G plus. And so first we're gonna take care of that for all of them. So here, follow with a transform. And 90, I believe. Yeah. It has a little randomness, but the point is that it's, it was going up in Y, but we want to go Z. So, all of them need the same transform. Okay. Yeah, so it may be confusing because of leaves position at the moment. And looks a little crazy, but let's look at this one. Yeah, so this is good. And now, yeah, so what we want to do, let's make a space here. Yeah, and then, yeah, so these are my leaves. Sorry, I'm kind of making it organized here. That's my stem, and this is my flower. Yeah, cool. So yeah, from here, we have this now, but yeah, I guess we can do from here. Yeah. So we want to copy. There are points, you don't see it, but it's there. So we're gonna copy these points along this one. So we follow this now one with a copy SOP. And then plug your point 2 at the end of the copy. And again, it's there. And so this will be our new template. In fact, leaf is already, sorry, it's kind of confusing because it's a base component, but this is our geometry, right? Yeah, so leaf, now we're gonna tell you, instead of this null one, we're gonna use this copy one. And let's move our camera back a little bit. 0, and then back. So yeah, this, this is actually, it's nice workflow that, the copy SOP and then your instance could line up, make sure if you have a normal and the up vector. So yeah, we can just copy this one for your flower. And then we need to replace. Let me turn off this one, sorry. Yeah, let me make it clean. Here, so that was the copy. So this is, right. So I want this point to go here. And I need to also change the template to the copy. Yeah, it is working. So now, since all of them are instances, you can, it might have been a little tricky and maybe boring, but I think, this is where it gets really fun. So for example, let's again animate. Animating, let's see, animation here, generations. Yeah, let's try the generations, yeah. So we make LFO and then the mass, and then now let's make it slow. And we can maybe do, I'm not gonna go aggressive yet, but let's do like 8. 0 is fine. And yeah, so now we can, we can animate them. And it gives an error when it goes, well, sorry, LFO goes -1 to 1. So let's make it the from range of mass chop, So -1 to 1. It gives you an error when it goes 0 because there's a 0 point, it's there. But, for animation, it's kind of fine. You can make it to like 0.1 to not, if you don't want to see that. Yeah, so yeah, if you check your performance, it should be like much faster. And when we were copying actually individual leaves, and let's make it like 0.8. And yeah, so try adding more divisions to your sphere now on the detail. So you can go crazy. There's a lot of them. I can't even see it. Let's see. So put the camera back a little bit. So maybe that's too much. Yeah, and you probably get this error message saying rotate vector is collinear with the up vector. And I'm actually asking derivative about, this is happening because one of these or two of these points right now is exactly facing to the z direction. And that's happened to be same as our up vector. So for this one, it doesn't know which way to face to. And yeah, they think it's a bug, but one quick get around is you can slightly rotate your sphere. This is a little bit of a hacky technique, but you can just kind of, yeah. So if you offset a little bit, it's unlikely happening. So yeah. And let's see what time it is. it's 8. Okay. Yeah. I hope everyone, it's making sense. And yeah, I don't know. Some of you might have to go, but yeah, I think since we have 15 minutes, maybe. Yeah, maybe I don't think I can do what I wanted to show you, like as far as the example file goes. That's there's so much more. I feel like than I was able to cover today. Yeah, I think there was some interesting question that I wanted to answer earlier, and maybe I want to talk about that first, really quick, and then also kind of look at this example file and from where we are leaving off and what after here, like what I did, and maybe I talk about the first. So for this example, is much like the so we did this one, right? And it's basically we were almost there. And it's just very different look that I have here, and also that I'm using a different tree, but I can show you that in a bit. it might be interesting technique for you that if you have never done. I'm using in your camera, I'm doing a fog renderer. So if you add a fog and you can add a color to it, and you can kind of make, very moody. It could, kind of, this is very fast. It's not like a volumetric, but it's just kind of using how far from the camera. So, I think this is a nice touch. And it's actually really, this is a very lazy way I did. Well, all I did was I made an L-system, right? And it's pretty much the same. And I think this was, kind of the conclusion, of today as far as the L-system basics was that, now some, like these letters that you can add, right? So, let's see, if you compare it, all I did, I added a leaf. Yeah, how lazy, huh? Actually, I did a little bit more, huh? But it's very similar, So my point is this, you can start being able to, you don't have to construct this whole complicated thing, unless, that's something you are interested in. You could do that, and that's exciting. But even though, you're not too deep into it yet, you can still have fun by, you can kind of see where now things are. This is the branches. Yeah. And then you can add a, leaf for the J. And that's kind of it for this one. And the trick is I'm animating this angle. Oh, and then I wanted you to click this button. If you click. So when I click this one, it's kind of a button to animate my generations. And then there is this is something I couldn't cover today. In today's example, is that I want to show you real quick what's going on in this one. So what we have done is up to, we deleted, this is what we just did, deleted each groups. And then we copied, right? It's same thing. We have a sphere and then copying and use that as an instance. But it looks crazy here, but it's not really. All I had to do, is just so that I can get scale attributes, which it's something I made it out of the lines, because the two lines, let's see if I can show you this. Oh, this is good. So you see, since my leaves are lines, let's turn off that. Yeah, so when you animate your, growth parameter of L-system, these lines, get smaller and smaller, right? Like it gets bigger and smaller. And then I think that's, really what makes it really cool. And to be able to do that, what I did was, the whole reason that's here is just for that. So now that I have this line, I converted it into a chop network. And this top 3 is really, it's just the points position, up vector, and the normals, which was already there. Okay. And what I'm doing like here, since each point needs, each one is a line, right? So it's like essentially, I have double amount of samples than I need, and I'm separating, these each points using this shuffle, and I'm only using, all of the 0 to 4 even numbers. And then I use that, yeah, this will take another 30 minutes, so I'm not gonna do it. But the concept is this. So this is like growing line. I'm using that the 0 to 0.1's position, and subtracting each other here in the each x, y, z, and then I combine them, and I get the length of it. So I use that length to scale up my instances. So that's the only reason why I went to this chop network. And here it's just kind of having fun with adding a, color variation as well. And okay, yeah, I have 7 minutes. Yeah, I feel bad I couldn't even go this one, but this is, I think, is exciting. I think it's actually a simpler network, and yeah, this might be actually easier to understand because this is not really instance of instance like we were doing. Well, I think what makes it cool is that this tree, it's a little bit more complicated, cool tree with quite a bit of generation, 10. And what's happening here? I have another L-system, right? And I'm adding to the second input as a leaf K input. So basically this is like a tree, little tree over this, like the big tree. And this little tree have leaves. So that's kind of the concept. That's why you see only on towards the top, of the tree. And yeah, that's kind of the complicated, it's a complicated L system. Not that complicated, but it's more complicated to look. But as far as the instance goes, it's far less complicated here. Yeah. So I'm instancing to, the group of L-sys J. And the reason is, I kept J here so that, if I put it in the J here, then this branch itself becomes the J. Yes, I wanted to use K instead so that I can only get these lines. And yeah, I think what's exciting, I think, what makes it really interesting, I think, about this one is, I kind of made this season. You see, so, I'm imagining this is spring, summer, fall, and then, kind of cycle back to the spring. So this leaf color is just kind of, used for this instance color here. It's replacing. And yeah, I want you to, play with this, especially salt. Like try changing that. It's random, but X. And then, I'm doing the point sort of my template points, which is these guys. And yeah, see, I think that's kind of cool, right? And yeah, and then, these flowers it's just copied over the same points. And it's like really lazy way of doing it. But I think one thing I thought it's like a kind of, I don't want to say clever to myself, but I thought, I thought this was a good idea to try. Yeah, was that in this color, I also, you don't see it, but I have a alpha channel. So you see, towards this fall and the winter, I have my alpha channel going down, this one. So I'm using this alpha channel to do the scaling, along this color. So that's what's happening to my flowers as well. So flower, I guess I didn't do the color, I just did so in the spring it gets bigger and then it goes small towards the, like autumn? Yeah, it's here now. And then comes back. And yeah, in the top two, So for this leaf, I'm using the alpha for the scaling, in which you can see, if you go to here, the scale up is it was a color, right? And then, I'm using for the scale. And I guess one important thing to keep in mind is that your ramp resolution needs to match to exactly the same amount of point number after it's merged with a facet. So, but yeah, and I guess, it might be good to kind of, yeah, sorry, I couldn't answer all of the questions. I feel like it'll be nice to do some follow-up things.
You can answer them if you like.
Yeah, okay. That's good. Well, earlier, so I forgot who that was, but there was a good question that how do you, I think it was like, how do you put a noise to animate your tree? Something like that. And I think that's a really good thing to show real quick. And L-system. Yeah, so we're gonna just go with default tree and nothing is wrong with that. And you might want to just do a little bit more abstract something. So you can put this into SOP2. And you see me doing this again and again today. And this is really powerful. And yeah, so we got the position, right? And then we put this into noise. And then we put TX, move it. So adds frame or something. This quick way to do animation. And then we combine, so we add this, so do a mouse drop. And then add the back. So combine chops, add. Okay. Well, let's just see how that looks. And yeah, so after this, we go back to SOP. And we don't have to connect in this case because it already knows it's doing the position. Noise, I think, that's great. Actually, yeah, I'll take my word back. We do need to connect this one. The reason is, it knows where, but it doesn't know which line, where is the branch and whatnot. So, yeah. And this is really fast, You can make your, it's a little crazy, and that more smaller in period. Yeah, so you can kind of make this wiggly, wiggly tree, and maybe other more generations since, if you don't have to worry about, to be honest, leaves, you can actually still make really cool stuff. And I feel like, yeah, that's awesome. And, you might combine this technique with the width, attributes to other like a color, right? And you can, you can copy this one around the sphere, and it's gonna make a crazy thing for sure. And then, I think one rules I forgot to show, it's not that I forgot it, but you want to know T. What the T does is it's going to add a gravity. See, so, it's pretty groovy. But yeah, yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed. And yeah, thank you again for joining. And yeah, I think I want to wrap up at this one. Should we do, I don't know, some answering questions? What do you think, Yasu?
Maybe 2 more questions.
What questions really stands out to you? Oh, somebody's getting confused. What is up vector? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what other questions are there. There's not too many questions, right? Okay, let me see. Yeah, okay, I answered Nirab's question because I think it's a basic. Yeah, he's getting confused. Is what the up vector is. Start with this and do this one. So yeah, so when when we did a copy SOP, so we have like a sphere, right? And the sphere has this, points, right? And when we put this tree. So how does it know that this branch is particularly facing, this direction? And tree that stands up like this because your sphere's normal is facing this way, like that. And it can stand up, but when it comes to, it could stand up, but it could face into this direction and that direction, right? So, that's when you need to specify another, what is called up vector. And up vector, you just specify so that it's this way, right? And so that way, it knows that, okay, so, so this one is not the greatest drawing, but, so that's how this one comes to this side. Otherwise, it might show up here or, here. Yeah, so, yeah, that's why we needed to add it. And then especially, it was important to do that. Usually you don't have to even worry about it, right? Because when you are just, copying spheres or like boxes, around your sphere or something. And usually it really doesn't matter which way your box is facing to. But, in today's example, it was crucial that our leaf also have to match to exactly there, Otherwise the leaf will show up somewhere else, and it's not gonna look right. So yeah, that's why, this is the up vector that we have to add. And somebody's asking, can we make a flower and use it as a particle source in a particle system? Oh, you absolutely can. If you want to emit a particle from a flower, if that's what you mean, I hope. And that should be like almost like a one click. Yeah, because particle systems, you just plug in your emitter, and that's a good question. So, it is. You can hit Q, or you can right click and adapt homing off. It's quite annoying, so it's gonna stop doing that and do this. And often what you wanna do is to add a sort here, and then randomize it. So now it's not gonna. So we can add more particles. What? Yeah. So if that's what you meant, yes, you could. These are all real geometries. So yeah, that could be a advantage. And yeah. Oh, I'm using it as a particle instead of emitter. Okay. Okay, this is an interesting question. So this is not what she meant. She was wondering if you could use this as like a sprite in the particle GPU, which you cannot. There's no such thing like SOP to top. Yeah, unfortunately you cannot. You could, what you could do is you could render, this view and call it as a sprite. But the GPU particle is it's fast because it's not calculating all of these points, right? So yeah, unfortunately, it is a little limitation there that you can do. But what you could do though, you make a particle system, right? Like that. And then you put the instance just like we did. So we could use this as a, it might be a confusing situation, but you might have like a typical, this kind of particle system, right? And you can use that as your, no, I'm not in the right. Let's see if I can show you real quick. So maybe this one. I hope I'm not gonna regret what I'm doing. Let's see. So that's my leaf, and that's my flower, right? So it's referencing this point. Let's see how many points. Maybe that's a little sketchy. So let's make it this. So what if we use that particle as your instance? Yeah, it does not have a normal, but I'm kind of curious what's going on. Is it moving? Oh, there it is. Yeah, see? So, what you could do is this. You could, it's not GPU. Is it GPU? I'm not sure. It's instance. So, yeah, it is fast and not random. Sorry. Sort is what I wanted. Yeah. Do that. Look it. Yeah, so see, yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that was a good question. But all you need to do is just to feed in the point that you want to instance to. Yeah, great.
So Akiko, can we wrap up soon?
Right? Yeah, it never ends. But yeah, let's call it a day. And thank you so much for joining today. And yeah, I'm excited to see what you make with. If you make something, please tag TDSW and yeah, let's see, what everyone came up with.
Yeah, for sure. Akiko, do you have anything to share with everyone? For example, a project you're working on or?
I am kind of chilling. This was the biggest project for me, of the months. Yeah. But yeah, I am, I'm pretty much excited about this plant situation. And I think, oh yeah, this is really exciting to me too. So, this is so TouchDesigner. It's using the sun position. So this, following the sun. And I think I'm pretty excited about this one. It's such a cool L-system example that can make a, Fibonacci pattern. And I was doing up to here to be able to kind of instance, each leaves and petals. And yeah, I'm kind of interested to make this the whole plant and like a field of sunflowers. Yeah, it's kind of my next, list, to-do list.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much amazing. Thank you so much for sharing today. Yeah.
Yeah, you are very welcome.
Yeah.